talk about the alien invasion. The alien invasion is going to be real, but it's going to be fake at the same time. The reason it's going to be real is because now on the internet they're talking about the U.S. government is going to be pretending that they're space aliens. And how can you pretend that you're space alien? That's a good one. Okay, there is no pretending that you're space alien. The secret is they're already here. So we're going to be talking about how they did the real fake in the good old days, how they're doing it in the movies, and then we're going to talk about how they're going to do it in the very near future. Okay. It's all real fake. As long as you're having a good time, that's what's important. So let's talk about how they did the real fake before. See, everything is fake because they already know what they want to do. And their thing is to talk you into doing something that you don't want to do. Okay. So let's talk about how they did it in the good old days. Okay. And then you will this is an analogy and you will understand what I'm talking about. We're going to go back to the cowboys and Indian days. Okay. This was all real fake. Okay. So, you had that little village of settlers sitting over there, minding their own business. And the cavalry come to town and say, we want to build a military base outside of town. And the people in the village say, we don't want a military base over here. We're not having no problems. And they're like, yeah, but there's Indians out there. Oh, those are peaceful Indians. They're not bothering nobody. And who's going to pay for this base? Well, we're going to charge out taxes and everything. No, we don't want no military base over here. Okay, so the cavalry leave. And then all of a sudden, someone started poisoning with the Indian wells. And shooting at the Indians. And the Indians get all revved up. And then the Indians start shooting at the settlers. And now the Indians wondering what's wrong with those settlers. So the cavalry come back and said, how are the Indians doing? Oh, they're upset a little bit, but they only got board and arrows. We can handle it. Okay. And then the Indians keep getting more and more upset. And then before you know it, the Indians got rifles and they're shooting at the settlers. Now, how did the Indians get rifles? Okay. The Indians don't have a factory. No one knows. And now they're shooting at the settlers. The settlers are all upset. And the Indians are upset because now somebody's even selling blankets with smallpox and everything. And the Indians are getting super upset. Now they want to kill all the settlers. And the settlers don't know what to do. And then when the Indians are getting ready to wipe out the settlers, the cavalry comes over with the hill as the hero. They save the town. They kill all the Indians, and then the people want them to build their military base there. So they build their military base, and the people are willing to pay for it, and they can do whatever they want, and they set up their little saloons in town, and they set up their little everything, and they even set up a brothel in the town. But nobody cares because they love the cavalry because they saved the people. Now, all of this was done because they wanted because they wanted to build their base there. They just went around the big circle to get it done. So let's talk about what does have to do with our subject? Everybody's dazed and confused. Let's talk about what's going on in the movies. They've been showing us all these superhero movies for several years now. Mm-hmm. Now, what people forget is when the superheroes first came in the movies, nobody liked them. They tried to arrest Iron Man. They tried to arrest Captain America. Mm-hmm. The government arrested Thor. They didn't want all these superhero people. They tried to put the Avengers out of business because they was breaking international law and doing things. And they hated these superheroes. They was doing everything. But then they started to save our butts. And then they became the heroes, and everybody let them now do whatever they want. The government even tried to, in the movies, arrest the Hulk and sent the military to get him. And he was throwing tanks around everything. They did not want these people here. But after they saved our butts, they became the hero. And now in the movie, everyone loves them. It's a game. This is what we're being set up for in the near future. Okay. See, the aliens are here. They've been here for tens of thousands of years. Remember, they're the Anunnaki. They was here a long time ago. And they used to rule over us. They used to live with us until they got tired of us. Okay. And that's the reason all of this came to a head a long time ago. When Zeus was still their ruler, and Zeus was a lover of women, and Zeus started a war on Earth because he was fooling around. It was the war between Troy and the Greeks, and that started a war in heaven. And they got tired of Zeus making all these demagogues and everything. So Apollo took over, and Apollo put separation between man and the gods. What does this mean in English? See, when we see the Anunnaki, when we see the Illuminati pyramid today, we see that, and if you don't know what the Illuminati pyramid is, it's the pyramid on the back of the dollar bill. Mm-hmm. The top of the pyramid is not connected to the rest of the pyramid. Back in the good old days, the pyramid was connected. The pyramid has 13 steps. There's 13 levels to get to them. There's 13 levels of rulership that we covered in a previous show. That how the earth is ruled through the 13 steps. And then they rule over us. Apollo put separation between man and gods. So the top of the pyramid was taken off. That's the reason there's a blank spot. I don't care how high you climb today, you cannot get to them. That's the reason there's a blank spot there, because they want separation. And where did they go? Apollo withdrew the gods to his summer home, which is beyond the north wind, which is called hyperbole, or what we call today the hollow earth. So this is why Thor is always flying off to Asgard. He's going to their home. But they lied to you. If you look up Asgard, Google it, Asgard is not that way. Asgard is this way. We live in Midgard, which is the surface of the earth. Asgard is the interior of the earth. So Thor does not fly up. He goes down to go to Asgard. That is where Asgard is located, inside the earth. Now, we have entered into the age of Aquarius. The goal of the age of Aquarius, which I just released a video on this 2 or 3 days ago, is to re-put the top back on the pyramid again. This is what we pray for in the Lord's Prayer, that in the end, that God's will be done on earth. The argument upstairs is which gods you're talking about. There's a war going on upstairs. That's what the movie Star Wars is about. Are these going to be the rebels, or are these going to be the government forces? But either way, they want to be with us, and they don't want separation anymore. And with all the technology we're getting now, they have a choice. They can either, because it's getting to the point where they won't be able to hide much longer. In another 30, 50 years, we will have the technology where they won't be able to hide any longer. So they can either come out of hiding, or they can reduce us back to the Stone Age again and not worry about us. They have decided this time, the last time we got to this level was at the time of the flood. And they decided to, they said, God looked upon the earth, regretted making a man, and they decided to let us perish. This time, they're going to let us cross. But unfortunately, we're unworthy in crossing. So we are unable to cross ourselves. They are going to cross us. The goal of polar shift, of what is coming, is of the 7 billion on this planet, they're going to cross 5 billion of the 7 billion people on this planet. Okay. And we're going to survive polar shift. What is polar shift? That is when our sun explodes and that blast wave is going to hit the earth. The continents will all move around and you'll have giant tidal waves. That's why they keep showing this in all these movies. And it's going to be, it only lasts 7 days. But if they don't save our butts, most of us would perish. But they're going to save our butts by taking us into their ships, which we call being raptured, being taken up into the clouds, or they're going to take some of us under the ground for protection, or they're going to, at certain places on the earth which are safe, they're going to put us on the surface of the earth and hide us. Okay, but they're going to try to cross 5 billion of the 7 billion. And nothing's for free. The cost of them saving us is that after this, they're going to help us rebuild everything back on the earth. That's the reason these people from the future keep saying in the future, if you watch, I'm not saying all these people on YouTube is from the future, but if you listen to them, a lot of them keep talking about in the future, we're going to have technology that you can't even imagine because it's not our technology. They're going to be here. The earth is going to be beautiful. It's going to look like a science fiction movie when they rebuild everything. But they will be here with us. Now, how are they going to accomplish this? This is why they have to do the fake alien invasion. I'm going to give you an example. Okay. Your little daughter is going to invite her boyfriend over to the house for the first time to meet everyone. And you're so excited because you finally get to meet her boyfriend. And he comes over and something is strange. The way he's walking around your house, it seems like he's been here several times. He knows where everything is. He knows where the restroom is. He knows where it's like he's been here lots of times before. And you keep saying, and you've never been here before? Of course not. See, what you don't know is she's been sneaking them in for a very long time. This is the problem our alien friends have. They've been here, but they've been in hiding. So they must come out of hiding just like your daughter's boyfriend must come out of hiding. He's been sneaking through the back door and through the window for a long time. But after she do the official introduction, now he can ring the doorbell. Okay, so most of us don't know that they live below our feet. And they've been here for thousands of years. That's the reason these people from the future keep talking about the alien invasion is coming. And they got different dates. Some of them saying 2026, 2028, 2031. But don't matter what the date is because the future is liquid. People keep asking these people from the future, how do we stop the alien invasion? They all say the same. You can't. They're already here. The only thing the aliens are going to do is they're going to pull their big ships out of the ocean, out of the mountains. They're going to go in outer space, whip around the sun, and come back very slowly, pretending that they just got here. And they're here to help us with our problems. And just like the cavalry, they're waiting for everything to fall apart. And we're on the verge of World War III right now. We're on the verge of economic collapse. We're on the verge of environmental collapse. They're waiting until things get really bad. And just like the cavalry, they're going to come and save our butts and help us with all of our problems. And they just got here. Okay. This is what we're being set up for. This is why these people from the future keep saying we can't stop the alien invasion. They're already here. But they're hiding. To come out of hiding, they have to do their official introduction. Questions?
No, it just, people are making comments.
Okay.
He says, we will have another ice age like on the movie The Day After Tomorrow.
Okay. In polar shift, yes. When the sun explodes, okay, Polar shift takes 7 days. When you get that, when our sun sheds its outer coat every 12,500 years. It sheds its outer coat in a giant explosion. When that explosive wave hit the Earth, the part of the Earth that is facing the sun at that time will be burned. But the wave is moving. Last time it hit Africa, that's the reason if you look at the Earth on a map, it's all green except for one brown spot. That's where the blast wave hit. That's the reason the Bible says 1/3 of the green grass will be burnt. 1/3 of the ships will be destroyed. Everything's going to get screwed up. Okay. But after that blast wave hit and the temperature go to 200 degrees, then the sun will go dark. Then the temperature will fall to several, maybe 100 below zero. Now, in between this time, when that blast wave hit the Earth, our magnetic field will drop to zero. That will let the continents move. That's why the Bible said there will be this worldwide earthquake. That is called polar shift. The earthquake is caused because all the continents are locked in position. When our magnetic field falls to zero, the continents will be free to move around to their new position. The problem with the continents moving, that's earthquakes and mountain building and things falling into the ocean and all kind of stuff. And then, and then on top of that, it's that is moving the oceans. That's creating giant tidal waves that's going to be 200-300 feet high. Okay. And then, if you have to survive all this stuff.
Yeah, because they're asking where will the billions of people go?
And then that's the reason in the flood of Noah day, not too many people survived. Okay. And then after this blast wave, then the sun is not giving heat. So then the temperature will drop from like 200 degrees to like 200 below zero. And then the sun will slowly warm back up to its regular temperature again. The good thing is all of this happens in a 7-day period. And this is why we was told that right before this happened, a sign will appear in the heavens that everyone will be able to see, that no one will be able to touch. This was the sign that was given at Fatima. Okay. This is also talked about in several religious books. Okay, there will be a sign in the heavens. The sign is the sign of our sun exploding. You will see these giant explosions of our sun. But that blast wave takes 3 days to reach the Earth. So even though you can go outside and see these giant explosions of the sun, you're not going to feel the effect for 3 days. But if we're not saved, this is what happened in the flood of Noah's day. Most people didn't make it. Okay. And only a few people survived because the gods abandoned us last time this happened. This time they are going to help us. So they're going to take a lot of people in their ships. They're going to hide people in protective places down underneath the ground. Okay. This is what the Hopi talks about. The Hopi said in the last destruction, the ant people tucked them underground and protected them in underground caverns. Okay. I don't know what ant people are. Maybe we would call them tall grays today or small gray. I don't have the slightest idea. But there's stories of this all over the world of what happened to people and who survived and who didn't survive. And we have talked about this on some other shows. But they're going to try to save as many of us as possible. But they can't save us if they come today and we're shooting at them with our nuclear missiles. That's the reason before that time they have to come in peace and be our friends first. So we will trust them to let them save us. You get what I'm saying? Okay. That's why before polar shift, they have to do the invasion part. But the invasion is not like the movie Independence Day. The invasion is more like the movie V, where they come with big smiles on their face and they're threatening to end world hunger and they're ending and they want to end global warming and they're going to solve cancer and they got a cure for everything. They're so nice and so friendly and so wonderful and so, oh my gosh, it's going to be beautiful. But there's a price. No, they're not doing this for nothing. Everything has a price. That's what I told you. Nothing is free. They're doing this because after the destruction, when everything on the earth is destroyed, they're going to help us rebuild. But in the rebuilding, they're going to make that futuristic earth that we always dreamed about we're going to have. They're going to help to build it. And they're going to be the rulers, not us. We're going to serve the gods like we used to back in the good old days. They will be the rulers and we will serve them. This is how it was long time ago. Okay, and this is their goal. Okay, this is even talked about in the Bible. That after the destruction, the Mount of Olives will split in half and the city of crystal will descend and it will float above the ground. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? You've been reading about this for a very long time. Okay. This is what you want, I guess. And it's going to be nice. But the problem is there's a price. They're going to rule and we're going to serve them. And this is what in the Bible talk about the 1,000-year reign of Christ. Christ is going to be here, or whatever his name is. Some people call him Maitreya, or you can call him Kalki, or you can call him, he got different names all over the world. The Mahdi, whatever you want to call him. Okay. But in all the religious books all over the world, it described this guy who is coming. Okay. And he's going to be here for 1,000 years. Okay. And he's going to rule. Okay. So I guess we won't have any presidents. I guess we won't have any elections. Okay. I guess they're going to rule and we will, I guess we're going to have perfect law, perfect order, but everything's going to be nice. Supposedly. This is where we're heading towards. Okay. Now, with everything, there's a give and take. And this is why we're going over this today, because most people don't understand the good and the bad. Because once we are saved and we rebuild the cities, we're not going to be in Kansas anymore. It's going to be a totally different world. And a lot of things we're going to discuss is about how things are going to be once these people introduce themselves. We have questions or comments?
No. People are just commenting a little bit, but no questions.
Okay. So, now, just like with your daughter's boyfriend, as long as she was sneaking them in the house, he could not be in the house when everyone else was there, because officially he wasn't there. But after she introduces him to the family, now he can ring the doorbell and you come home from work and he's sitting on the couch watching TV. You get what I'm talking about? Because he's been officially introduced. Okay. As long as our government has secret planes, classified stuff, they can only fly it around in the desert and they can only fly it around at night. But once they declassify it, then they can fly it around anywhere and everywhere because it's declassified. They don't have to hide it anymore. Okay. This is the reason why they want to introduce themselves. This is why we're coming into this invasion, this fake invasion. Because they're tired of watching us on TV. After the fake alien invasion, we will know they're here.
Okay, then I have a question.
Yes.
So then what's going to happen after that when they show
Then
us?
they don't have to hide.
Okay.
This is what Babylon 5 talks about, which is supposed to be 200 years in the future, where the president of the Earth Alliance is complaining that there's too many aliens living on the Earth, and the Earth should be for Earthlings only, and he want all the aliens living on Earth to register, because the aliens are taking all the jobs, and the aliens are doing everything. You gotta think, if people can come halfway across the galaxy, they're probably smarter than we are. You get what I'm saying? Now, once they are officially introduced, they don't have to hide anymore. They can be out in the open. They might even want to buy a house next to you or something. And then down the street, instead of you talking about those Oriental people that live down the street from you, or those blacks that live down the street, you got those reptilians that lived around the corner. Have you met those reptilians? Okay. They're kind of strange. Okay. They're officially here now. They don't have to hide anymore. They don't have to be sneaking around the corners. Now you can actually see that kid with those giant eyes. There might even be one of them in your classroom with your daughter. Your daughter said, "Mom, there's this alien kid in my classroom." Okay. He's an exchange student. He's from Reticuli. Okay. It's going to be, I guess it's going to be nice. We get to taste alien food, and we get to watch alien shows, and I guess, but we will have some of their technology. They won't be hiding it anymore. See, everything will be out in the open. This is what they talk about not only on Babylon 5, on Star Trek, when they're eating, and they got Romulan food, and they got Klingon this and that. That's how the Earth is going to be in the future. You get what I'm saying? See, they're tired of hiding. They're tired of us shooting at them. They want to walk around and go to the mall and go to the beach like we do. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, someone's asking, has the introduction already started?
That's what all of these movies is about. That's the reason in these movies, if you notice that first they had superheroes that looked exactly like us. Now, a lot of the superheroes don't look like us anymore. Some of them look like raccoons. Some of them look like, I don't even know what some... You get what I'm saying, don't you? Because they're from different planets. And they don't look human. But they can still be your neighbor, right?
Okay.
It can be nice, right? Your daughter might bring one over. Mom, I'm bringing... Okay. How are you going to pronounce this kid's name? I don't have the slightest idea. But this is what the future's going to be like. We're going to be with them. They're going to be with us. We will have... It's going to be a different world. Now, there's good and bad about this. See, a lot of people are upset. I like to use myself for an example. Okay. When I'm from Dayton, Ohio. When I was in Dayton, Ohio, I left Dayton, Ohio in 1980. In Dayton, Ohio, when I was growing up, it was just black and white. In the late 70s, the Spanish was just arriving. And people was like, okay. Because they didn't speak English, and they ate strange food, and we didn't know what to do. Okay, you get what I'm saying? Today in Dayton, Ohio, you have Lithuanians and Bulgarians and Africans and Chinese. And things have changed a lot. Okay, it's not that little world it used to be. But not everybody is happy about that. That's the reason you have a lot of Klan activity now in places like Ohio, because some people wanted to go back to the good old days. Okay, now, I guess that's what they're talking about in Babylon 5, is that the earth should be for earthlings only. And they're tired of all these aliens on the earth. Okay. But the problem is, it's kind of too late. What we're going to do? See, if they got the technology to cross, they've been visiting us. There's been accounts of alien visitation on this planet for thousands and thousands of years. But they're tired of hiding. They're coming out. very soon, once they make their official introduction and they come with the big smile on their face and they come curing all our diseases, all of our problems, then they don't have to hide anymore. Then they can land their UFOs at the airport next to that 747 out there. Okay. They don't have to hide it.
Someone asks, what are the aliens waiting for now? What are
they waiting for their official introduction. Just like in the superhero movies. When Thor first came to the earth, the government tried to arrest him. Because, what are you doing here? You understand?
Okay.
Right? When Superman first came, the government tried to arrest him. It's in all the movies. Mm-hmm. They didn't want them here. Okay. Right? When the X-Men first came, the government tried to kill them all. They tried to put them all on an island and shoot thousands of missiles at them. That didn't work out too well. Okay. You get what I'm saying, don't you? Okay. But after a while, after they saved our butts a few times, we decided, well, maybe we should leave these people. We didn't have a choice anyway because our weapons didn't work against them. When we tried to use when we tried to stop Superman with our little jets and bullets, it didn't work out too well. When we tried to go after these people, it's in the movies. It didn't work. So we decided, let them just do whatever they want to do. And we, in the movie, see, the movies are preparing us. Everything is secret society films. I told you that. Okay. This is why when the X-Men, if you're weird, they make you join that school. This is what they do in Babylon 5. If you have powers in the future, you can't be in regular society. You have to be in Psychor. Because you have to be separated from regular society. Because if you got special powers, you can't be the regular people. But later on, that breaks down, and they start letting the psychic people be with the regular people later on. You understand? This is what the X-Men is about. Some of them are leaving the school, and they want to live like regular people, right? But the problem with these people with powers being with regular people, when the werewolf gets upset, you have slight problems. You understand what I'm saying, don't you? If he gets in a bar fight, it's kind of bad. Okay. But they have powers. See, in the future, it's going to be who has power and who doesn't. I told you. Because a lot of these people that have power, which I already told you in a meeting or two ago, they're already here too. See, when I said when Superman first arrived, the government tried to arrest him. But Superman was already here. He was Clark Kent. They just didn't know he was here. Right? They didn't know until after he came out as Superman. We have a lot of people with power and special ability on this planet right now, but they're pretending like they're Clark Kent. They're pretending like they're Aquaman. They're just a fisherman on a boat. You get what I'm saying, don't you? You don't know he can breathe underwater. He's just a fisherman. Okay. This is the game they're playing. This is what these people from the future is warning us about. Okay. Is that the world of the future is going to be totally different. We can't even imagine what it's going to be. It's going to be nicer than anything we could ever imagine. But it's also going to be, I guess, worse. Or because, see, if you don't have power, just like in these Superman movies, and these adventure movies, if you don't have power, okay. If you don't have, certain things, Iron Man, Batman, they just do whatever they want to do. You can't stop them. Okay. And these people just basically run things. And this is the problem that they talked about back in the Greek days. When you talk about the Greek god myths, they talk about the problems that they was having with these godlike people that lived on the earth thousands of years ago. Some of them was good, but some of them was bad. And the regular people had... What can you do about it? Okay. See, there's nothing new. This is why the Bible says... At the end, it will be as it was before the flood. And what was on the earth before the flood? You had the giants and you had the men of renown. The men of renown is what we call the demagogues. Okay. Those people had power. They could do things.
Okay,
Question.
So, Karen is asking a question. Can the normal people be given any power from the ones that have power?
Okay. There's 3 ways to have power. You can be born with power, Superman. You can be given power, Thor. Or you can learn to have power. Remember, Iron Man has no power. He has technology. Batman has no power. He has technology. In the future, it doesn't make same thing in metaphysics. If you're doing white magic or black magic, it doesn't make any difference if you was born with an ability, given an ability, or learned an ability. It's what you can or cannot do. So in the Justice League, they're all one. It doesn't make any difference if you were born with it, was given, or learned it. They're all one and they're all equal. Okay. So, do you have a power? If you don't have A, B, or C, okay. And even though Iron Man learned how to make power, he didn't teach all the people, everyone else, how to make a suit, right? He only has a suit for him, right? Batman's not going around teaching everybody how to have all his little toys that he has. He's keeping all that to himself, because that is what makes him a god, is that he can do things and no one else knows how he can do it. That's the difference between people today, these super rich people, and me and you. If you look at a super rich person, a billionaire like Gates or whatever, or Trump, and you look at me, we have the same everything. Why are they billionaires and I'm a poor guy? Is knowing what to do and how to do it. And if you know how to make millions of dollars on Wall Street, or how to do this or whatever, you're keeping that knowledge to yourself. You're not sharing that knowledge. Okay. Right? Mm-hmm. Next question.
No, that's...
Okay. So, most of these... the reason for this talk is preparing us, as the Bible says, we're going to go back to the way it was before. So the way it was before, when you read about in the Greek myths and everything, and going back to those days, they lived with these people that had power, and the rulers of the land were these people that had power. This is what they're preparing us for today. This is why this invasion will be real and fake, because they're already here. But they just need to introduce themselves officially. Okay. And as long as they're hiding in the shadows, flying around, sneaking around the bushes, doing their little things, that's why I brought up this thing about the American Indians. See, they already decide what they want to do. You have a choice. See, if that town would have agreed to build that fort, they could have avoided all the bloodshed and everything, and they could have negotiated with the military. Since they said no, The military had to go through this big thing of making the Indians upset and starting trouble and selling the Indians guns. And they had to go through all of this trouble to get the people to agree to let them build the base there. What we have a choice today. We do not have a choice if they're coming or not. We have a choice of we can either accept this or we can fight against it. And just like you see in the movies, they tried to fight against the Hulk. They tried to fight against several of these people when they first came. That didn't work out too well. Right?
Yeah. Okay, and Karen's asking, so all powers are considered equal?
It depends on, okay, to have an ability is considered a glass that is half full and half empty. Okay. If you have an ability and you can learn how to use it, it is considered a glass half full. What they don't want you to know, and most people do not know, is that a lot of people in insane asylums have abilities. The reason they're there because their ability has driven them insane. Okay, you understand? So just because, see, some people, they can't go to the grocery store because when they go to the grocery store, they can hear the voices of what everybody's thinking. So they can only go to the grocery store in the middle of the night or when people are not there. I know I met a girl once who can't watch TV or listen to the radio because when she tried to listen to TV, she hear voices in the background talking. Okay, see, as Tesla said, everything is a wavelength. Remember, the TV and radio was invented not for us to watch football games. Tesla created the radio so he could communicate with people on other planets. Okay. Some people hear voices. That's the reason there's a guy who got a ghost box, which I won't mention who that person is, you probably know, and he hears voices when he plays the radio too. Some of these people have abilities. Okay. Now, it is great to have an ability if you're in a loving family who appreciate that. Unfortunately, Lynn Livsey was born in a super religious family. They thought I was demon possessed when I was a kid. And I was telling them I heard voices and there's people in my... Okay. I almost didn't survive my childhood, unfortunately. Okay. Very painful. Okay. The glass is half full or half empty. Okay. But I survived. I'm still here. I still hear voices. I still... The information I'm getting... I didn't go online to get this information. But sometimes we can work together. Like, we're working together to do this program. They're giving me information and I'm giving it to you because I told you why they're giving me the information. Because that government of ours, which was supposed to have given you this information 20 years ago, they don't want to give it to you. Because knowledge is power, and they want to keep all the knowledge to themselves. Right? That's why we went over underground bases. See, they're building all this super underground stuff for them. They're not building nothing for us. Okay. They're working on their future. But their future is going to have robots and all this automation. They already got houses now where you can go in, and if you want your walls to look like oceans with breeze, they got, digital panels, which is the size of walls, and you can be in a room and you can just have the ocean or the stars all the way around you. I don't think the average American lives like that. Most people, a lot of people live in trailers. A lot of people, you should see the valley. Okay. The valley is a very poor area, So, unfortunately, not everyone is doing well. Okay. And this is the problem that we have. But if we're going to make it, we have to work together. And what we have to do in the future is that we want the future to be a little bit better than it is today. Okay. So when they start handing out all these toys and goodies, they can have it where only, they can cure everybody's cancer. or they can help us with all the problems we're having in the world. Or they might just make another secret agreement with the government again and say, we're only going to cure the rich people of their diseases. Okay. See, we have to be at the table too. So far, we keep being left out. And this is our future. It's not their future. This is our future. But certain things we don't have control over. We do not have control if they're coming or not. They have made the decision. First, they made the decision a long time ago that they wanted to get rid of us. Then they changed their mind and they decided that they wanted to replace us. That's what the Black Eyed Kid experiment was all about. Now they have decided we'll stick with what we already got. Okay. So they're going to allow us to cross. But we want a new world which is a lot better than the world we have today. The world we have today has a lot of problems. When you go around the world, most people in the world live on less than $1, $2 a day. Do we want a future like that 200 years from now? We need to balance the scale some. We need to make the new world a lot better than this one. This is what we need to be worrying about. And we need to make it where, since these gifts are given out to all types of people, that's the reason why. See, in the movies, there's a school for people that have abilities. Today, there's only insane asylums and prisons for people that have abilities. Yeah. There's nowhere else for people to have abilities to go. Okay, and what good is having an ability and you can move things with your head and read thoughts, but you can't even get a job at McDonald's? Mm-hmm. What good is having an ability? You understand?
Yeah. And somebody says that tells me a lot of folks in mental institutions are have been misdiagnosed.
They're right? Okay.
A lot of them could be
misdiagnosed. The definition of sanity is to be the norm of society. So if you live in a place where everybody is smoking weed and getting drunk every day, and if you're smoking weed and getting drunk every day, you're considered normal. And if you live in a place where everybody's covered in tattoos from head to toe, and that's considered normal. Okay, you understand? Mm-hmm. Where is the place where the people with the special abilities live? There is no place. So they're considered abnormal. That's why they get locked up. That's why these kids that have abilities, like this lady told me what happened to her daughter in school. Her daughter's super psychic. She went up to the teacher and told the teacher, something's wrong with you. There's a big lump inside of you. Okay, you're sick. And the teacher had cancer. No one knew that. The teacher knew. How come that little kid got it? Do you know what they did to the kid? Instead of them giving the kid a award or whatever, the kid almost got expelled for school over that. Okay. You can't just be walking up to people telling them what their medical condition is. Okay. How dare you do that? Right? How dare you go to the UN and tell people you need to straighten up this planet and you need to quit polluting and everything? How dare you do that? Somebody needs to tell that little girl to be quiet. How dare you do that? Okay. You need to just sit back, watch Cartoon Network. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And be quiet, right? Eat more candy. This is why we're not getting nowhere in life. This is why this world is not getting any better. When people try to do something, over the years, I've been called every dirty name in the book. Okay. But it's to the point where I don't care no more. I'm out of the closet. I don't care. Okay. Most of my family members don't even talk to me. I don't care. Okay. I'm tired. Okay. You have to get to that point if you're going to be somewhere. And if you're Superman or Aquaman, as long as you're hiding as Clark Kent, as long as you're pretending you're a fisherman because you don't want people to think you're weird because you can breathe underwater and you're weird, so I'm going to pretend like I'm just a regular fisherman. Hello? Okay. That's crazy talk. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay. And I have met people over the years that got all kind of abilities. But the purpose of the new show was to bring these people out. I have talked to a few of them. That scares the hell out of them. You mean you want people to know what I can do? Oh, no. I don't want to do that. No. No, I'm happy being Clark Kent. I don't want people to know that I have abilities. No. Don't do that, please. Okay. If you like being in the closet, then stay in the closet. I'm out of the closet. If you're ready to come out of the closet, because the only way we're going to make the world better is if we start doing something. Okay. You get what I'm saying?
And that's what this show is about.
And that's what this show is about. And that's what other people, we have to do our part. So, I don't care what people think. I don't care if people say, that guy's weird. That guy's this. That guy's crazy. Yeah. That's wonderful. I love it. Okay. But and the reason I don't care is because when I tried to be normal several times in my life. I almost didn't make it. I almost killed myself. Because trying to pretend to be something you're not, and trying to pretend like you're just a regular, and pretend like I'm just a regular black person, and just pretend like I can't. I tried it. I almost went insane. So I'm just crazy now. You know what I'm saying? So what we need to do, we don't have a school for the crazy people, but we need. If you're one of these people, you need to contact me. The time to come out of the closet is now. Because we're running out of time. Okay. And this is the purpose of the show. If there's anything I can do to talk to your group, your friend, I've said it 100 times. And, I'm willing to do whatever I need to do. But we are running out of time. But our alien friends are getting ready to do their thing. And when we see them come with their big ships, and they're going to say, oh, we came from 30,000 light years away to the earth. We were observing y'all for thousands of years. It's all a lie. They've been here the whole time. Okay. In case you don't know it, there's 7 billion people like us living on this planet. There's probably a few billion others we don't know about that live on this planet too. Okay. So, but once they come out of hiding, it's going to be a whole new world. Okay. So, I'm excited and biting my nails at the same time. But that's what these people... Listen to some of these YouTube videos about these time travelers. And they keep talking about, the future. You can't even imagine what the future is going to be. We have technology you can't even imagine. And they talk about how great it is and how scary it is at the same time. Because the future is going to be, it would be the same as going back to the year 1850 and trying to explain to a person of 1850 what today is like. You don't even have words. How can we today, how can somebody who's 100 years in the future explain what the world is going to look like 100 years from now? They're going to have technology we can't even imagine at all. Okay. It's just mind-blowing. But that is where we're going. So I hope you enjoyed this.